What's up, you guys? I'm Jason from Financial Snowball, and I want to help you set yourself up for financial success through automation and education. This video is a beginner's step-by-step guide to personal finance in Canada. I promise to respect your time and to keep this video as short as possible. And for expanded explanations on this topic, stay tuned to this channel as I'll be posting deeper dives in the coming weeks. Information from this video came from these books, years of experience in the banking industry, and trial and error with my own money. I would recommend reading any of these books for a deeper dive into personal finance in Canada. With that being said, you guys, let's jump right into it. Step 0 is budgeting. Now, before you click out this video at the mere mentioning of budgeting, let me remind you, it's not the 1950s anymore. We have technologies to automate this process so you can get all of the benefit without all of the work. None of this guide will work for you if you don't know where your money is going. So please do not skip this crucial step. A budget is like a financial dashboard in your car. You should be able to see at a glance where your financial life is. With a dashboard, you can make the right decisions at the right time with the right information. To do this, go to mint.com or download the Mint app and connect your bank account, credit cards, mortgages, investments, etc. This is entirely free to do and should take you less than an hour. Once all your saving and spending is in one place, you can start making the critical decisions that will pay you dividends for years to come. Step number 1 is to have an emergency fund. The purpose of an emergency fund is to help you feel free. It should cover 3 to 6 months of your expenses in the case something goes horribly wrong. This fund will give you the confidence to live the life of your dreams. Think about it. How many times have you heard of somebody who feels stuck or trapped in their job? And by trapped, they mean they're living paycheck to paycheck on one stream of income. Going to work is not a choice for these people, it's a life sentence. If they had an emergency fund set up, they would feel confident to negotiate for that raise, search for other employment, and claim their worth. Don't ever feel trapped in your work. Save an emergency fund. If you have high interest debt, stay tuned. Saving for an emergency fund is not your first step, and I'll address what you should do later in this video. While having an emergency fund is excellent in theory, you're wondering how and where. So how? How do you set up an emergency fund? Well, now that you have your financial dashboard up and running, you can make a real and tangible plan. Tally up your fixed expenses. That's your rent, your groceries, your phone plan, your utilities, your car insurance, your Netflix. Fixed expenses are expenses that you'll pay regardless of how you spend your time. Look at these transactions on your financial dashboard and label them as essential or as a luxury. Yes, your Netflix is a luxury expense. Once you have your lists, you should look at your monthly cash flow in your financial dashboard. How much money are you bringing in versus how much money is going out? The goal is to have a positive cash flow of at least 20% of your post-tax income. If this is your first time looking at your financial dashboard, you may be tempted to say something like, 20% is impossible in my situation because of X, Y, or Z. And this is a completely normal reaction, but if you permit me, I'm going to give you some tough love. That's a victim's attitude. You are in control of every single transaction you see. No one is going to swing in and make your financial woes disappear. You have to. Pick yourself up, have a glass of water, and let's find you that 20%. Look at the essential category. Are there opportunities to lower your monthly spending? If your phone bill is over $50, cut it down. Be brutal. Be honest with yourself and take note of all the opportunities you have to save money. You don't have to follow through with all these options, but for your sake, explore the options so you know what's possible. Look at your luxury category and do the same thing. Do you have Netflix, Disney Plus, and cable? Make the choice about what you watch most and cut out the others. You can always alternate platforms if you can't survive without that one streaming service you love. Once you see all of your options to save money monthly, decide which options you want to commit to and write down a time in your calendar for 2 to 3 hours to execute lowering these expenses. You'll also find variable expenses, like coffees out or dinners. If you do not have a 20% positive cash flow, cut these out until you do. I promise you, 95% of people can save 20% of their income. If you don't, you'll be the one paying for it in the future. Once you free up the money, set an automatic amount to leave your account every payday. This is an automated transfer that should not be touched unless absolutely necessary. Guard it with everything you have, and when you need it, it will guard you. It will take you about a year to fill your emergency fund at 20%. So if you want to do this more quickly, raise the amount. Once 3 to 6 months worth of expenses are saved up, move on to your next step. I recommend building up at least 3 months, keeping that automated payment, but lowering the amount until you build your emergency savings up to 6 months. If you have high interest debt that's more than 10%, split your emergency fund transfer and your debt repayment 70-30. 70% going to loan payments and 30% going to your emergency fund. Pay off credit cards with more than 20% interest. Interest should make you money, not your loan providers. In a future video, I'll expand on debt repayment strategies. Now that we talked about how to save an emergency fund, let's talk about where we should put it. In a future video, I'll go into more details about the best savings accounts in Canada. But for the purpose of this guide, I'm going to keep it short. You put it in a high yield savings account separate from your other savings accounts. In Canada, I would recommend Wealthsimple and EQ Bank. Alternatively, you can set up a separate savings account with your current financial institution. Just make sure it brings in a decent interest rate to protect against inflation, and it has no fees attached to it. Step number 2 is your employer matched retirement savings. I'll move quickly through this section because it is a simple one. If your employer matches your RRSP contributions, do it. There's no reason not to, and it's free money for you. However, do not contribute more than what they're willing to match. These accounts often have a higher fee and lower returns than other options available in Canada. I'll go through what those options are later in this video. Step number 3 is to start paying down your high interest debt. Now that you have an automated budget set up, an emergency fund built up for at least 3 months worth of expenses, and you're contributing to your employer match RRSP, your financial snowball can now start picking up some momentum. If you have a personal loan, car loan, line of credit, etc. that starts charging you 4 to 10% interest, now is the time to start paying it down. Do not skip this step. You can make consistent large returns in the stock market, and we'll go over how to do that later in this video. However, paying back your debt is a guaranteed return on your investment. Gaining 5% and not losing 5% are the same thing. Pay down your 4 to 10% debts before you start investing. This does not include your mortgages or your low interest student loans. Step number 4 is saving towards large future purchases. This is where you get to define your goals and start to work towards them. Do you want to upgrade your car in the next few years? Set up a savings account labeled car and automate a payment to that account every payday. Can you get a discount on your insurance by paying yearly? Set up an account named insurance. Automate a payment for it every year. Set it up and forget about it. Note that the best investment you can ever make is in yourself. Consider saving for that course or starting that business idea. You'll never get a higher return than in you. You decide what's important for you and save for it with every paycheck. Any large purchase you plan on making within the next 3-4 years should be budgeted for. You'll be surprised how much $5 a paycheck can add up. Isn't living your dreams worth more than that daily coffee? Purchases you'll be making in 5 years plus will be investing for, and we'll go into that with step 6. Step 5 is to invest in your retirement. The right time to start investing in your retirement is now. I don't care if you're 15 years old and you just got your first job washing dishes. You need to start saving a small amount for your retirement right away. Compound interest, when it works for you and not your lender, is magic. Your money's value is going to double approximately every 10 years when invested in the average market return of 7% post-inflation. That means that $100 invested properly will be worth $1,600 in retirement. Your $5 coffee today will be worth $80 in retirement. Yikes, that's an expensive coffee. This is meant to be a quick overview of investing, and I'll do a deep dive into investing in Canada in a future video. First, you need to know a little bit about the investing language in Canada. Most people don't understand how this works, and at first I didn't understand how it worked. My future videos will break this down in more detail. For now, TFSA equals tax-free savings account. The money you have made by investing in this account is not taxed by the government. There is no disadvantage to investing through this financial vehicle as long as you follow the rules. The rules are, you can't contribute more than your TFSA limit. The limit is about $6,000 per year since you turned 18. Please log into your CRA website and find out what your current contribution limit is before you start investing through a TFSA. Overcontribution will cost you 1% of your account balance a month. Most people have tens of thousands of dollars of spare room in their TFSA. RRSP, or Registered Retirement Savings Account, is a little bit more confusing than the TFSA, but very similar. The money you contribute to this account is deducted from your income for the year. The money you make while investing in this account is tax sheltered, meaning you do not pay tax on it while it's in that account. When you pull money out of this account, it is then added to your income for that year. You want to use this account to pay fewer taxes when you're making tons of money in your prime, and take money out of this account when you're making much less money in your retirement. That may have all sounded like gibberish to you, and it did to me at first. But please do not let your lack of understanding of how to use these accounts stop you from using them. Here is simply how the average Canadian should invest. Open up a TFSA with a robo-investor. I recommend Wealthsimple. Set up a transfer to this account from your bank on each day of your paycheck. And that's it. Really. You don't have to understand entirely all the ins and outs of investing. Just do this. When you fill up your TFSA, do the same thing with your RRSP. When both of these are full, invest in a non-registered account. And that's it. You're investing better than 80% of people in Canada. I know those of you who are more investment inclined are going to comment down below with why your investment approach is better. And that's awesome. It might be. But this set it and forget it approach is better for 80% of Canadians who just need to start. I like Wealthsimple because of its low fees, straightforward account sign up, and its ability to completely automate the contribution. If you're going to sign up, it would mean a lot to me if you use my link down below for $10,000 of no fee investing on their platform for a year. Doing so helps out my channel tremendously and lets me make more videos like this. How much you should be investing for your retirement is a more complicated question than it seems. For the purpose of this guide, experts recommend 10 to 25% of your income. And it depends kind of how long it will be until you retire and what you would like your retirement to look like. My advice would be to start with at least 10% and slowly increase that amount until you reach 30% of your income. You'll find that when this money disappears every payday, you don't miss it. Before we move on to step 6, let's do a quick summary of what we learned thus far. I realize most of you are going to watch this video today and are going to need to take these steps over the next several years. Don't worry, I'll continue posting financial topics like this every Monday and Friday to keep you in the right money mindset. Subscribe if this is something that interests you. Let's go over what we've talked about so far. You've used an automated platform like mint.com to create this financial dashboard. From this, you started saving for your emergency fund with 3 to 6 months worth of your expenses saved. You did this by setting up an automated transfer to a high-yield savings account with no fees. Once you saved at least 3 months worth of expenses, you found out if your employer offered an RRSP match program and applied to contribute the full matched amount to get your free money. You then paid off your high-interest debt of between 4 and 10%. Now that you're debt-free, you started saving for any required large purchases in your life. Once you automated savings for your large required purchases, you started investing 10 to 25% of your income for retirement through a TFSA or RRSP. At this point, most of you should feel confident in your financial life, but you're not done yet. we have to move on to step 6. Step number 6 is where you get to define and work towards your long-term goals. Now it is time to save. Do you have a child or plan to that you'd like to go to university or college? Start investing for that today through an RRSP, and on the day they get their social security number, open up an RESP for that goal. Would you like to buy a home? Start putting money away each paycheck towards that purchase. Depending on your time horizon, you should either invest this money if it's more than 4 years away, or put this money into a high yield savings account if it's less than 4 years away. Would you like to retire early? Increase the amount that you are saving towards your retirement. You decide what your future entails in this step. And by this point, you'll likely watch many other personal finance videos. There is a lot of room to optimize the steps above for your specific financial situation. Before I close out, I'd like to leave you with some advice. Building wealth doesn't happen overnight. It's a slow process that compounds on itself. At the beginning of your financial journey, it will feel endless, overwhelming. But I promise you, if you stick to your plan long term, you will make it work. You will have the life of your dreams. You just have to start today. That being said, you guys, thank you so much for watching my beginner's guide to personal finance in Canada. If you like this video, please hit the like button. It helps out my channel tremendously. I post new videos every Monday and Friday to advance Canadian financial literacy through automation and education. I'll see you on Friday.